Aloha, I'm Chris Berman, and coming up on ESPN... they love their football out in Oakland. Can't tell what you'll find in the stands in the Black Hole. They'll certainly be out in force. We get set to bring you another edition of the NFL on ESPN. A very good matchup here. Saints, Raiders. Let's get started in this one early in the first quarter. Brown would turn things around. Big shift in momentum here as he pounced on a fumble. The defense recovered. Saints later on in the first, the Saints have the ball at the 47. Devery Henderson is going to find himself on the receiving end of this one as he works his way open for the big play. That set up an automatic 21-yard field goal. Raiders still early in the first. Raiders losing by 3. Vargas is reading the quarterback's eyes all the way as he's able to get his hands on this one and pick it off. Saints midway through the first. Jason Lookman, no Hansen, is going to try to dial one in from very long distance. Plenty of leg to it, though. It's good. A 32-yard field goal. Saints out in front, 6-0. Carson would come up with the big play to kill a drive as he was able to step in front of a wayward pass for an INT. Saints ended the first quarter, ball at the 1-yard line. Ace, Deuce, and plenty of use McAllister is able to make things pay off on the ground. Touchdown for the Saints. Raiders towards the end of the first quarter. Raiders behind by 13. Lowe was in the right place at the right time as his interception was a possible momentum shifter. The Saints on D. Jerome McDougal is going to come up with the big play here. Whoop! The ball's loose. Scramble. He's there to grab it. Saints ahead 13-0. Maake Kimoiatu is reading the quarterback's eyes all the way as he's able to get his hands on this one and pick it off. Raiders middle of the second. Jerry Porter came up with a big play as he was able to pull this one in. A 63-yard touchdown for the Raiders. Saints midway through the second. Saints ahead by 6. Charles Woodson is reading the quarterback's eyes all the way as he's able to get his hands on this one and pick it off. The Saints have it again. David Terrell is reading the quarterback's eyes all the way as he's able to get his hands on this one and pick it off. And that's where we'll leave this one. Raiders are down, but still in it, 13-10. Let's get started in this one early in the third quarter. Drew Brees connected with his man on this one. The Raiders, after a missed field goal, Carson is reading the quarterback's eyes all the way as he's able to get his hands on this one and pick it off. The Saints, after getting an interception, Saints up by 3. Cannon was in the right place at the right time as his interception was a possible momentum shifter. The Raiders on D. Carson would come up with the big play to kill a drive as he was able to step in front of a wayward pass for an INT. Raiders losing 13-10. Cobb let his big old offensive line pave the way on this one. A 12-yard touchdown for the Saints. The Saints now up by 10. The Raiders come right back, already in the red zone. Corey Dillon found a little opening. That was all he needed. A 3-yard touchdown for the Raiders. Raiders back by 3. Tim Brown is going to try to stretch the field here. He's going to make them pay. They tie it up, 20 all. The Saints answer right back. Jason Lookman, no Hansen, sets up the field goal attempt from just about the parking lot. Got a lot of leg, though. He's got it. A 50-yard field goal. Saints out in front, 23-20. Cy Grant would come up with the big play to kill a drive as he was able to step in front of a wayward pass for an INT. And that's where we'll leave this one. Saints edge out a win, 23-20. Now let's take a sec to chat with our player of the game. The guy who seemed to be all over the field on defense and came up with big play after big play. Carson is standing by with Susie Colbert. Suze?
Thank you, Chris. You helped carry your team today, and you edged them out in a hard-fought game. What put you guys over the top?
You know what? This team believes in each other, and we believe in what we're trying to accomplish. Fortune just smiled on us today, and we were able to triumph in the end.
Chris, back to you.
With that,
This is Sportscenter.
Hey, I'm Chris Berman. Got a lot of games to cover. Let's get at it. In our first game this week, we had the Bengals barn burn their way to a 24-point win. We had an interesting free agency pickup of note here. Trey's got the lowdown for us. Trey?
All right, Chris. Let's switch gears and talk about players that'll have new homes in the National Football League, as free agency continues to play such a huge role in determining a team's makeup. Matt Stover is going to find himself with a new club, and he'll be in a new tax bracket, too. 4 years, $1.5 million. Carlos Hall is on the move. Perhaps not for all that he thought he'd get, but a good deal nonetheless. 4 years, $3.3 million. Tucker got snatched up as well, and he signs a 2-year contract with the 49ers.
Steve Smith stepped it up this week and gave his team some added firepower for the win. We had a big injury in this one, and Trey has the lowdown for us. Trey?
All right, Chris, thanks. In front of you, we've got the AFC Infirmary Report. And as you can see, they were hit hard this week. Aaron Smith will be on the sidelines for a while, so this defense will need to do some reshuffling in his absence. A hairline fracture of the arm is the initial report, and the doctors are saying he'll be out for 5 weeks. In front of you, we've got the NFC list. And as you can see, they could form their own mash unit. Deshaun Foster won't see action for a while, so this offense is going to have to make do without him. Knee tendonitis is the report. He'll be out for 5 weeks. So that'll do it for now. Chris, let's send it back to you.
Santana Moss pulled down 100-plus receiving yards and helped his Jets beat the Cardinals. Saints, Raiders. Jerry Porter emerged as a real weapon as he pulled one in here. The Saints go on to win this by the final score of 23-20. In San Diego, right by Coronado Bay, we had the Chargers edge their way to a narrow 3-point win. Over at the Cleveland Browns Stadium, we had the Browns squeeze out a 4-point victory. In a long-standing NFC rivalry, we had the Rams pick up win number 2. Broncos, Texans. Win number 2. David Carr calls the signals at the 24-yard line. And a quick rollout. Boy, he has some time. What a bullet! Touchdown! The Texans win this one by the final score of 32-24. The Bills erupted for 400-plus offensive yards in their victory at Arrowhead Stadium. The Jaguars won on the road and will have to travel again next week when they meet the Raiders. James Mongrove had a stellar game, but all said and done, his performance wasn't enough to lift his team to a victory. Vikings, Lions. Said and done. Michael Bennett would certainly like to help his team get into the end zone. And he's set 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage now. Looks to bounce outside. Does so. Gets a block. Touchdown, 10 yards. The Vikings go on to win this by the final score of 59-44. We had a big trade also of note here. Trey's got the lowdown for us. Trey?
All right, Chris. Well, trades aren't quite as common in the NFL nowadays as they are in other sports, certainly. But we've got news to report to you on the trading front nonetheless. Damian Woody leaves the Lions and will be on his way to the Giants. And it's clear this was an area of their football team that needed somebody. In exchange, they'll get someone to beef up their roster. Jeremy Shockey is a guy whose versatility can be an asset, though it'll be interesting to see how he's used in his new digs.
Des White pulled down 100-plus receiving yards and helped his Falcons beat the Seahawks. Down in Dallas in the Lone Star State, we had the Cowboys fall by 10 points. Redskins, Giants. By 10. Little is in the backfield at the 37-yard line, gets the pitch, spins right there, whoop! And then at the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5, touchdown! The Giants win this one by the final score of 28-21. And in our final game, we had the Eagles come away victorious. So, 2 weeks into the books here on ESPN, here's my prime time performers for week number 2, and each is going to get a game ball. That'll do it, sports fans. I'm Chris Berman, and thanks so much for joining us here in the Bristol studios. We'll see you next week right here on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.